On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM.
Max Rushton in for Jim White
on Talk Sport.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Max Rushton here on Talk Sport with Wix. In the trade, it's always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro. Every day, no minimum spend. Register today via the Wix Trade Pro app. Visit your local Wix store to find out more on the show today. Troy Townsend from Kick It Out will join us. The England game is behind closed doors tonight, obviously because of racism in Croatia. We're quick to criticise other countries over it. Very interested to know your experiences of it here. What's the situation like? Is it fine? Is it over? Does it exist still? 08717 223344. Also today, how should England set up footballers you've heard swearing? Perry's quiz, Bob's section, TBC, Graham Alexander, a Christmassy Bob's Sugar Midday Sugar Rush, and some other old guff as well. In the studio, Perry Groves and Sir Bob Mills. Bob, how are you?
Sorry, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
just
you ready? Are you ready? Do you want me to introduce you? Bob Mills is in the studio this morning. Bob Mills, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Max. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
I was in Doncaster yesterday evening. What a lovely place that is.
Donny?
Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice people. Very warm people.
Where would you say the least nice people you've performed for?
The least nice people. Well, no, it's wrong to say a whole group of people are least nice. I mean, there are good people and bad people. Wales.
Perry.
Hello.
You came in with a spring in your step this morning.
It's Fridays.
It's Friday.
It's like Tigger, just coming in.
Yeah, absolutely right. Oh, it's the start of your working week, though. Perry,
I was in Richmond last night.
Okay, that's nice.
Very. Do you know what?
Which one? The Richmond, North Yorkshire, or Richmond Southwest London?
Southwest London,
no,
posh.
That is nice,
posh.
Isn't it?
And when it's warm, when you're in a really affluent area, and they leave their windows open. When you go, whoa, tell you what.
Oh, you have a look in?
No, it's just like, because they've got the windows open, they're not worried about getting burgled. Do you know what I mean?
It's that nice, though.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As Hilda Baker used to say, look at him, fruit on the sideboard, no one ill.
Do you, when you're walking down like a posh street, how much time do you spend?
Heels.
Do you mean when I'm going home?
Well, or when you're going home, Bob. Right. Look, you've had a successful career, still clinging on. That's great. Do you look in the windows? Do you look in the, when they've got a lower ground floor as well? You like to see what they've done with the kitchen?
What, the basement, you mean?
Lower grounds. That's
sorry, lower ground.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Lower ground.
Thanks for translating it.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, we call it a basement.
The area.
What, is that where you have your Arga? No?
Anyway, you came in the spring in your step because it's Friday, but also you've had some exciting news regarding your footballing career, Perry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a bit of a sort of all hush-hush in football, isn't it, about the tapping up?
Yeah,
that
okay.
It goes on and it doesn't.
I think if you don't have a club, you can't be tapped up, can you? If you're not currently playing,
no, you can be in between clubs and open to offers.
Yeah, and that's your current. That's been your situation since Southampton let you go in.
1995.
Since 95,
yeah,
right?
I've been keeping my options open.
You've been out of contract.
Sorry, can I just say the phrase "Southampton let you go" kind of makes people believe perhaps that there was a moment where Southampton were trying to stop him from going.
I think drove him out of the city is probably
escorted him to the city limits and told him never to darken their doorsteps.
The streets of Windsor will be lined today, won't they? But it'll be nothing like the crowds for the exit of Perry Groves from Southampton.
I thought I was getting a police escort just to make sure I was safe. It meant sure I didn't come back across the county line. Is that what it was? You ain't coming back into Hampshire.
What's the opposite of the freedom of Hampshire? The freedom of Southampton. Whatever it is, you've got the opposite.
Barred.
You are
barred. Is it an Asbo from Southampton?
You've been Asboed. Well, they've done it. They've attached a tag to your ankle, but it's the opposite, and it means whenever you get close, that's
the
when
alarm
it goes
off.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, you got tapped up.
Yeah, I got tapped after my little cameo performance when Butcher Grano side me down and broke my ribs for the Arsenal Legends against Real Madrid Legends.
But Butcher Grano's about 92, isn't he?
He still side me down.
Okay.
He's still a little bit evil.
With his one crutch.
Yeah. That wasn't his with his mobility scooter.
Yeah.
He ran me over.
I mean, sorry, do you know the story of Butcher Grano siding him down?
Well, I'm about to hear it.
Okay. Butcher Grano nudged him very gently in the back.
Yeah.
So Perry, because it was an exhibition match, of course, so I know what, get a good laugh from the
0-0.
crowd. So he did a star dive.
Klinsmann.
Yeah. I will do a star a la Klinsmann. However...
Landing is more difficult at your age, yeah?
Yes,
Correct?
very much so, especially because the ball hadn't moved enough, and so he landed on the ball and cracked a rib.
Big laughing joke.
Do you know what? The thing is, right, you don't notice how much you breathe until you crack a rib, do you?
Well, I went to
And
roll.
you breathe all the time, in and out. You know, this is the insight people want on TalkSport, but until you've broken your ribs, don't text me and say, well, that's a stupid thing to say. You don't know.
And the thing is, I very rarely sneeze.
Oh,
You're right there.
What have you
He's
dropped,
getting all
Bob?
excited.
What's happened? Oh, no.
Coffee's gone all over his
No.
iPad.
Hang on.
Get me don't just sit there laughing.
What do you mean? Get me a
funny.
tissue. Click your fingers, Bob.
Exactly, yeah.
Someone get Bob a tissue. Needs a tissue. We've had what's they say? We've had a code 6 on platform 2. There's been a code 6 on platform 2.
By the
Could
way-
we have a cleaner to platform 2, please? Bob Mills has spilt his coffee.
I haven't spilt my coffee. I'd never be so unprofessional.
Do you see that? I'm not his equerry. It's like really like that, isn't he?
Literally, he turned straight.
I'm not his what?
Equerry.
Equerry?
Yeah. Just servant.
Well,
Boy.
exactly. If I ever employ you, it certainly won't be as an equerry.
Boy.
Literally,
He's a
what was
gopher.
interesting there was, Bob, it was a bit like when Mickey Gray found out the assistant producer Joe was a referee. His eyes just turned. It was immediate the way Bob turned to Perry and said, don't just sit there. Don't just sit there, man. Get me a thing.
Do you know what?
That's it. That is just exactly how Bob views you, Perry.
That was-
There it was.
that
If
was
you
a-
never knew.
The Two Ronnie sketch with John Cleese. I'm middle class and I'm considerably better than him.
Absolutely
I'm
right.
middle class and I aspire to be upper class.
If we're getting this right, Bob should be next to me, right? Me, Bob, Perry.
Oh, what, in
Or
the
actually, should
food
Bob be ahead of me? I mean, I know, Bob, me, Perry. Hard to tell, isn't it?
I think you might be even Stephen because he's a Chester. Chester's very posh, isn't it?
That is,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
very affluent.
And I grew up in the mean streets of CB1. I got out, Central Cambridge. That was rough.
Don't want to be there at night time, do you?
Absolutely not.
All those bikes coming around those cobbled streets.
Seriously.
You could get run over.
Someone could shout at you in Latin. That'd be all
Nightmare.
over.
So I was tapped up
yes.
by Gilden Morden, who play in the Cambridgeshire FA's Division 3. And we spoke about Luke Chadwick, who plays for Barrington.
Yep.
They got a big game tomorrow, Gilden Morden, against Milton A. So it's like they're proper.
Yeah.
The big boys are coming in.
Yeah.
And they heard, obviously, normally in international breaks, I don't do co-commentaries because obviously the Premier League.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll tell you what, we'll have
Get
him.
Groves in.
We'll have a little ring, get a ringer in.
Guarantee you 45 or something?
No, I only want 25.
Okay.
Like, a bit like my career, really. That'll do. Do you know what I mean? So,
Have you
I thought
signed
so.
the contract? Have
I've
you
signed it. It's all done and dusted.
Brilliant. What
I
are you
think
getting?
it's-
What are you getting? What are you wages?
I was hardball.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like a shark.
Yep.
They offered me 4 pints of Carlin
Yes.
after the game
Okay.
and a packet of Port Strachan's.
Okay. And what did you
I'm not having that.
what did you ask for?
4 pints of East Coast IPA, a little bit easier on the stomach as you get older. It's not as fizzy. And I went for wasabi peanuts.
You know, on Radio Cambridgeshire, they'll be doing the phone in. Is he worth that much a week?
What?
4 IPAs and a wasabi nuts.
Yeah.
That is honestly, the game's gone.
But not one of those little we get in the middle class pubs, you know, the little bowls.
Yeah.
I want
you want
big
a proper
saucer.
one. You don't want a ramekin of
Martin,
wasabi.
sorry, Martin Cotton. Tell Perry I did the Klinsman dive in a senior cup final at Portman Road. Had to come off with a dislocated shoulder.
I tell you what, it
Okay,
hurts. I'm
I tell
telling
you what, we'll do that on the text. If you have injured yourself
Diving.
81089, tweet at Max Rushton. Troy Townsend from Kick It Out is coming into the studio after the break. The England game tonight is behind closed doors. Croatia punishment after a swastika was marked onto their pitch before a Euro 2016 home qualifier against Italy. We are quick to criticise other countries for racism. We talked a lot about it in Russia before the World Cup. I'm very interested to know your experiences here. Are we complacent about it? I think we all believe it's better than it was, but what is your experience on the terraces, wherever you support football, wherever you go and watch football? I'd love to know what your experiences of it are. This doesn't have to be it's not a witch hunt. This is just, how is it for you? If it's miles better than it used to be, tell us. If it's still bad, 08717 223344. I'd love to hear your experiences of it. Troy Townsend joins us after the break.
Jim White on TalkSport with Wix. In the trade, it's always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro with no minimum spend. Register via the Wix Trade Pro app or visit your local Wix store to find out more.
Will you look at that? What a pass! He's picked it out of nowhere. Oh, top draw. Today's Croatia v England for a one-off payment of just $7.99. The Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass delivers again. Total game changer right when he needs it. To only pay for the games that matter to you, search Now TV. 18 plus, UK only, content streamed via internet. Full terms at nowtv.com.
At BetBright, we know where the smart money goes. And with the brand new EFL season underway, BetBright can make sure you bet smart. Because right now, at BetBright, you can get 25% back on all net daily losses on all in-play bets across all sports. Download the BetBright app from your app store today. Bet smart at betbright.com. 25% back as a free bet on losses up to £100. Minimum 3 qualifying bets at odds of 1 to 5 or greater. Bets placed with free bets do not qualify. Opt-in required. See BetBright for full terms. 18 plus gamble aware.
The new main eco-compact boiler, true or false quiz, starting now. It's smaller. True. It fits in a cupboard. True. It's more compact. True. It weighs less than 30 kilograms. True. It has brass hydraulics. True. It comes with a 5-year warranty as standard. True. It's built in Britain. True. You get a free walrus with it. False? It's true. The new main eco-compact boiler and flue, available exclusively from independent merchants for around £640 plus VAT. Really? True. Terms and conditions apply. What about the walrus? There is no walrus. Ah!
I'm from a small town in Lancashire, and growing up, I just always wanted to move away, so school made me feel a bit trapped. But then my geography teacher took us rambling. So I'm there, walking through nature, and he begins explaining our home to us, why it's special and why we're lucky. He showed me the trails my grandfather took, and also his grandfather before him. That teacher taught geography, but really, he was teaching me who I was.
Teaching. Every lesson shapes a life. Search Get Into Teaching.
At Homebase, we've got 15% off Keta storage. Hurry, offer ends Monday. Homebase, always low prices. Excludes clearance and closure stores.
It's battle stations as we play Rescue Mission on Talk Sport with epic new action movie Hunter Killer. See Gerard Butler and Academy Award winner Gary Oldman take on the Russians to avert World War III. Report for duty with Hawksby and Jacobs this afternoon from 1. Answer quickfire questions about famous acts of heroic sporting salvation. And win a Premier League tech bundle worth up to £1,000.
If we don't pull this off, it's going to be World War III.
Rescue Mission on Talk Sport with Hunter Killer. In cinemas October 19th.
Talk Sport, Traffic and Travel with Checkertrade.com. The place to go for the trades you need. Visit Checkertrade.com today. Checkertrade.com.
Traffic slow at the moment through Manchester on the M62 westbound due to an accident still closing a lane between junction 12 for the Eccles interchange and junction 11 for Birchwood. As you head south on the M6 to Cheshire as well, a broken down vehicle also closing the inside lane and causing queues between junction 16 for Crewe down towards 15 for Stoke-on-Trent, and lengthy queues southbound on the M6 in Warwickshire. An accident involving several vehicles has closed 2 lanes at junction 3 for Coventry. Traffic is solid heading south from Cawley Services. I'm Louisa Gale.
At SYNAE, we like to make things easy. So we're offering 4 years 0% APR across the SYNAE range, including the award-winning Ateca and Arona. So make the easy move with SYNAE now. Enough said. If only we could make the legals easier. Here they come.
With Solutions Personal Contract Plan, 10% customer deposit required on Ateca and Alhambra. Excludes Cupra models, 18s and over. Ordered by 2nd of January 2019. Subject to status, T's and C's apply. Indemnities may be required. Visit sayat.co.uk. Sayat Financial Services.
Hear full live and exclusive blow-by-blow commentary of Lewis Ritson versus Francesco Patera tomorrow night from 8 on TalkSport, the home of boxing.
Morning everybody, you are listening to Max Rushton on TalkSport. In for Jim. Jim's back next week, don't worry. Bob Mills, Perry Groves alongside me. Kurt the Happy Hammer says, alright fella, I was in the semi-final, game went to pens, I was in the sticks, player's shot went a mile over, I dived so late as a joke, I landed on my knee, ACL, out for 18 months. Yeah, injuries when you've dived, we'll do that on the text. Every day we give away a £100 Wix gift card to our best caller. Give us a call, 08717 223344. Calls to this number will cost 13p a minute, plus your provider's access charge. Find competition rules at talksport.com. Joining Bob and Perry in the studio from Kick It Out, Troy Townsend. How are you, Troy?
Brilliant. Now I've arrived. It's good. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
I wanted to get you into the studio for rather than just 5 minutes on the phone, just for an extended amount of time at some point. And today seemed like a good one because the Croatia game against England tonight is behind closed doors because of the swastika that some Croatians put chemicals in the grass.
That's correct.
To bring out a swastika. They had they put a they've been forced to play behind closed doors. And I just wondered, as a way of looking at racism in this country, as to whether we are complacent about it here, whether we're quick to criticise other countries for doing it. We criticise Russia a lot in the lead up to the World Cup. And if our house is totally in order, and it's never going to be perfect, and I'd love to hear from you, your experiences at the grounds you go to, 08717 223344. When we start, Troy, kick it out. It's your 25th year, but I still think some people think you're part of the FA or part of UEFA or part of the government. Who are you?
We're an anti-discrimination organisation. We're a small charity of, I think we've moved up now to about 15, 16 people that works right across the game. So from the professional side of the game, the non-league side, the grassroots side, behind the scenes, helping clubs, and a lot of education as well. So we are funded by those organisations. So the organisations, the Premier League, the FA, the PFA, the English Football League, we're funded by those. I don't want anyone to get carried away and think that funding lines our pockets, because it helps. Yeah. It keeps us afloat, but it's nothing that we can go and splash about. And we challenge the injustices that still exist in our football. I think we are better than some of the nations that you've mentioned, and I think that we do challenge in a way that maybe those nations don't, because they don't see discrimination in the way that we do. But you can't afford to rest on your laurels. 25 years down the line, and the challenges are still there and existing. So there's a tremendous amount of work still to be done. There's some great work that has been done, and I suppose during this season what we're trying to do is to get football to really pull together and really challenge the kind of aspects that are still out there currently today. Are we complacent?
Do we sort of think we've eradicated it from football?
Complacency is not the word. I don't think we do, but there's a lot more that we could do in terms of challenging or the fining system, or Max, I could talk to you about some horrendous cases I hear within grassroots, and sometimes people play down what grassroots can provide, the bigger level of the game, and it's pretty horrendous stuff. And I don't think we're actively doing enough at that level to eradicate forms of discrimination.
You've obviously got to be careful what you say, but can you give us some sort of example, like what is happening?
Listen, I'm not a politician first and foremost, so when I mention Brexit, I don't want to do it in a way that people start to ring in and say, talk to me about politics, because it's not me. But we've seen a rise since then. It's almost like, for want of a better term, people wanting to own their country again. And so on our grassroots pitches, a really high-profile case was the respect campaign, the handshake at the start of the game. Yeah. And it's a team that is Asian, so of Muslim background. And during the handshake, there's mimicking of aeroplanes, there's holding of your nose, there's references towards stabbings, etc., and stuff like that. And the game hasn't even kicked off yet, and that's been allowed to continue through the course of the game as well. And that's just one extreme example. Where young players, and this was a game that was, under 13s, I believe, where young players, before they kick a ball, are subjected to that kind of abuse. So the problem is with our system is we take too long to turn these stories around as well and provide the punishments that are required. And particularly at that level of the game, it's one word against another, which, sometimes is very hard to clarify who's got the right information. In the professional game, the cameras are there, there's a process and it's sought after. I still think that process is too long, by the way. There were some really high profile cases last season, that took a long period of time to come to an end result. And for me, that's probably the biggest area that we need to get to.
First text we've had in, and I knew we'd get something like this. It's from Jamie, who says this is the daily hashtag snowflake on TalkSport.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I don't know what it means. I imagine.
What it means is talk about football. What's about talking about football? No one cares about this. We have it when there's two things we get. At some point, we'll have a discussion when Sol Campbell's on, or Garth Crooks will have, and you immediately get the set text. Listen, if you're good enough, you get the job.
Right.
Stop trying to play the racism card.
Yeah, but that's people that are not having the experiences that those people have had.
Exactly, that is exactly it. But it's something you live with when, unfortunately, it's social media.
Yeah.
You can't have a radio station without social media, and what that does, it provides an outlet. When we have sexism, we talk about sexism, anything like that, we always get. But they're almost like there's a template.
Yeah.
Like there's one button that you press for that text.
Yeah.
The thing is, well, we'll talk about football, right? What football with Kick It Out, and I work for Show Race and Red Card, which uses football, as obviously Troy will be aware of, with Jed Greby, the work that he does, and it's supported by the Unite Union as well.
That's correct.
Yeah. So they have ambassadors that go into schools and use football as the tool, because obviously that's a common interest of all the kids. And it's about education. It's about educating the young kids who are playing in the playground, who are 5 and 6, who don't see colour, they don't see race. So it's about educating those young kids at that end, and hopefully they'll educate their parents.
Exactly.
Because they will get most of their ideals and from their peers. So that's where it comes from.
But also it helps us, hopefully for a better place in society when those children
when it grow up. And
yeah.
they will there's a filter, then it comes down like ripple effect, and they educate other people. But I think there is a lot of work going on in football in this country, and I think the tolerance level is very low now of anti-Semitic or racist or homophobic chanting. Because I think
I really want to know if it is, because I remember in the mid-90s going to Spurs and hearing, it's anecdotal, right? We can mention any club and it happens to every club.
Yes.
A dad with his kid on his knees shouting the N-word, and I was like 14. I was like, no one said a word. Everyone just sat there, right? I remember.
Yeah,
I'd say 5 years ago. I'd say 4. That was not in the mid-90s. I'd say 4 or 5 years ago. I went to Chelsea Spurs at Stamford Bridge, and a group of Chelsea fans outside the Fulham Broadway Tube shouting, "I'd rather be a P than a Y." Right, a derogatory term for people from Pakistan. A derogatory term for people being Jewish.
Yeah.
And do you know what the difference was? I was an adult then, and I thought, shall I go and say something? And I didn't say anything. I'd say 3 years ago, I was interviewing a football manager. Reasonably high profile, who said to me, on a Friday at training, we do black players against white players. And I was like, wow, that
used to happen, yeah. That used to happen.
I'm interested to know how, if it is, I think it is better, but I'm just interested to know.
I think you don't get the what I call the communal, like the chance of singing now, do you? As a group of people, it's very rare. When you go back to the 80s and 90s. It was like, oh, that's football. That's what happens.
Yeah.
I think now people are a little bit braver if they do hear something to actually either ask the person to say, by the way, that's not appropriate, or point it out to a steward. I think there's there's less tolerance now than it was. You need it to be zero tolerance. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's
There's never going to be zero tolerance.
No, there isn't. But that's what you're at.
That's what you're aiming for. You hope for. Yeah.
In a utopia, in utopia, but. If you can get it less and less, and I'd like to know you say about this country. I think we do work hard to try and eradicate it.
Without doubt.
So you've got Kick It Out. You've got Show. Are there equivalent bodies in other countries as Kick It Out or Show Red Card?
Before we go there, can I just? And you're right in what you say about how we need to challenge, and in the stadiums are different. The problem is any isolated incident is a big incident, and we still get this. I can talk about London clubs because I go to London-based games and. Your Tottenhams, your Chelseas, your West Hams, we still get, the chanting about the yids as such. Mm-hmm. We still get the gas chamber, the hissing about the gas chambers. And these are the things that, this is not just football's problem. This is a big problem. It's a societal problem. And it's a problem that the police need to stick their head up a lot more as well and help support it. Because let's be serious, if you're an individual hearing that and it's mass chanting, are you really going to challenge it? Or you're going to go downstairs and say, look, there's a group of fans up there who are still, hissing and making gas chamber noises. And I feel sorry for the stewards sometimes, because again, also, how are they going to do it? But with all the cameras we have at stadiums now, these people can be identified. The police are in their area. They can identify these people and take action almost immediately. They can get them out the ground if they want.
Ban them.
I'd love to hear your experiences. 08717 22 3344. Troy Townsend from Kick It Out with us for the next half-hour show. You're listening to TalkSport.
Jim White on TalkSport with Wix. October trade essentials. At Wix, Type 21 radiator 600mm by 1200mm is now just £39.60 when you use your Trade Pro discount. Always cheaper with Wix Trade Pro. Price includes VAT.
Get set for 3 days and nights of explosive Magic Arrows action as the PDC Players Championship Finals come to Butlins Minehead Arena. From Friday the 23rd of November, see the stars of PDC Darts live over an action-packed weekend with accommodation included in the price. There's currently some last-minute availability, so book your place today for the ultimate hockey-rocking darts weekender. Search Butlins Darts Weekend to find out more. The PDC Players Championship Finals at Butlins Minehead Arena. Game on!
It's one of the most exciting Premier League seasons in years, and this... weekend, it's an international break. Ugh. Don't worry, Paddy Power are here to save you from the tedium of international football with our same-game multi. You can combine multiple bets from the same game to make even internationals exciting. And you'll get money back as a free bet if one leg of your fourfold same-game multi lets you down. Paddy Power, enough of the nonsense. Applies to pre-match fourfold same-game multi-bets on UK and top European leagues and selected international markets. Match free bet £10 per customer per day. Minimum odds of 1 to 5 per leg. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Where are you going in my dressing gown?
Sorry, can't stop.
The Volkswagen used car event from the 11th to the 31st of October. For a limited time, get 2 years warranty, 2 years MOT cover, 2 years roadside assistance, and 2 services included on Solutions Personal Contract Plan at 7.4% APR representative.
But you haven't finished shaving your beard.
The Volkswagen used car event. Everything else can wait.
Offers on used Volkswagens aged 3 to 60 months. Excludes electric vehicles. Participating retailers. 18s and over. T's and C's apply. Subject to status. Indemnities may be required. Volkswagen Financial Services. Visit volkswagen.co.uk.
Great excitement, Gary, as the new Grundfos UPS3 circulator warms up for another game-changing performance.
Yes, Terry, the Grundfos UPS3 is a massive team player. It can be used as a replacement for loads of circulators, including internal boiler pumps. You can even check compatibility on a free app.
The new Grundfos UPS3 circulator and Go Replace app. More first-time fixes, less cost. Find out more and get the Go Replace app now at grundfos.co.uk/team.
Beautiful, Terry.
You are too, Gary.
I meant the UPS3.
Sorry, mate.
Talk Sport, Mo Bros and Sisters. Are you ready to go above and beyond the folly call of duty this Movember? Sign up now at Movember.com and find out how you can raise funds and awareness to change the face of men's health. We all want more time with the men in our lives. Time for more talk about the beautiful game, more did you see that, more of what life's all about. Now is the time to make it happen. It's time to act. Sign up now at Movember.com to grow a moustache and stop men dying too young.
This is from Scouse Twit, says racism he believes is on the rise. Robert says problem is people need education rather than airtime. You don't know what their upbringing. Chris says I think it's a generational thing. I don't see much racism from younger population as they've been brought up knowing it's wrong. Tony in Barnsley, Joy says I've not seen racism in football for decades. I go to watch Barnsley in what is historically a militant town, whatever that means. So what some people will do for money keeping this alive, I presume. Saying,
that's me.
That's
is that
you.
me?
That's
I'm happy to show him my wage packet.
10 grand a week.
Yeah, I'm happy to show him my
Driving
wage
around
packet.
in your fancy car and your Bentley, turning
And
up.
So Pedro, sorry, is going to miss the Ben's news bulletin, unfortunately, because it's time to turn over since it's bashed the whites for half an hour.
You know, I knew we'd get some of these messages, and I just.
But it confirms everything that we know, though, doesn't it?
Exactly. Anyway, we'll do more of this, and that's why we're doing more of this, because of you, really. It's 10:30. Let's get the sport from Ben.
Luka Modric admits that having to play England behind closed doors isn't great for football. The Nations League clash between the World Cup semi-finalists goes ahead in an empty Rijeka stadium owing to sanctions placed on Croatia. The whole thing's live on Talk Sport. Joe Root has told Talk Sport that Shane Warne's comments will only drive him on. The Aussie spin legend says Jos Buttler should become Test captain with a view to helping Root realise his full batting potential. The second ODI with Sri Lanka is live on Talk Sport 2 tomorrow. And Kyle Edmund is out of the Shanghai Masters at the quarter-final stage. The British number one was beaten by 4th seed Alexander Zverev 6-4, 6-4. Remember, the England game is live here on Talk Sport this evening. We've got Austria Northern Ireland on Talk Sport 2.
Afternoons with Hawksby and Jacobs. With loads of laughs and life for 3 hours each day. They're on
TalkSport, they're both crazy. Aye, they're outrageous. They're Hawksby and Jacobs.
They're outrageous. They're vivacious. They're bodacious, dude.
Most excellent. It's like laid-back laughs and football talk from the L. Dude Brothers of afternoon sports radio.
Aye, it's contagious. They're Hawksby and Jacobs.
Hawksby and Jacobs, this afternoon from 1 on Talk Sport.
Aye, they're vivacious. They're Hawksby and Jacobs.
Catch you later, dudes.
Morning, everybody. You are listening to Max Rushton on TalkSport with Wix in the trade. Always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro every day with no minimum spend. Register today via the Wix Trade Pro app or visit your local Wix store to find out more. Troy Townsend from Kick It Out is here. 25 years of Kick It Out. The Croatia-England game behind closed doors because of racism over there. What is the situation here? The number is 08717223344. Taylor in Southampton has asked this. A genuine question for Troy. What is his view on the point of BMAE coaching bursaries, potentially positive discrimination, racist? What about white working class people who can't afford to pay for UEFA A and B licenses? And I guess this is linked to the FA bringing in Sol Campbell at the 21s, Paul Nevin joining Gareth Southgate for these games against the US and Croatia. Former assistant manager Terry Connor joined up with Eddie Boothroyd for these last couple of games as well. What's your thought on that?
There's two questions there. Let's be serious. There's a lack of representation in terms of coaching circles for black and ethnic minority coaches. Lack of representation, lack of opportunity. We're still down to, I don't know, I think we're 2%, of managers in the 92 professional clubs who are black and ethnic minority. We have a problem. We have an existing problem. It just goes beyond the number of coaches. It goes more about the boardrooms and the people that hire and fire. And I will always say that. And some people will want to shoot that down. We need to provide more opportunity and provide better access for coaches, to go through the environment. The England stuff is another matter. The problem is that there's two things about the England stuff. It's observational and an active role. Observational role is someone who is there just but in person. Right. Active is someone who's coaching.
Okay.
The define of that between Terry Connor and Sol Campbell, I don't know. I believe that Terry Connor is active, which means he'll take sessions. I'm not sure Paul Nevin's active, but it's a great opportunity for someone who I heard his story or his coaching journey recently, and it's amazing what he's had to do to get up the circle. So whilst going back to the question, I understand what people are saying, but for years and years and years, my fear is that we're going to lose another generation of good black and ethnic minority coaches through lack of opportunity, and that lack of opportunity is based on the colour of their skin. So we're trying to upskill a number of coaches to put into the environment. The EFL have created a mandatory code where at least one black and ethnic minority coach has to be interviewed for a job, and obviously there'll be a lot of mudslinging at that as well. But whether it's right or wrong, it's about providing opportunity, and in this day and age, it's something that's been put across the board. It's worked well in America, and football's trying it over here.
You said what you're trying to do, quite rightly, is give the black, Asian, ethnic minorities the opportunity to try and get the job. You're not saying because they come from minority background they should have the job.
No.
It should, and you will back, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, is it's about the best person for the job. You have to get it on your talent,
Without
but
doubt.
you want people having more opportunity just to get the interviews
And
to show people how good they are.
And I'm going to question that certain people don't get it on talent, Perry. Certain people
it's
get
nepotism,
it on that. Yeah, exactly.
But that goes on not just in football. That goes
No, that's
in
right.
business
But
in general,
we're here to talk about
Sure,
football.
exactly,
So for me, the people that don't want to see that will never see it. There's people that have been through a journey in the game, and that journey gets blocked off. And I don't see why that should happen. And this is why I talk about the boardroom rather than the coaching badges and pathways and whatever else. Because unless the boardroom, the people that hire and fire, start to be more reflective of society, of the people that play the game of football, then I'm sorry, we're still going to have these challenges in days gone by.
How far do you think we're away? it would help you say the Reflector Society, you're saying it's normally predominantly white, middle class owners of football clubs, predominantly. Yep.
That's a question and a half.
So how do you think?
Are we closer? You can only know. But listen, Keith Curl's back in a job now, but people will say that Keith's been round the circle a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I think. I think we're still in a stage where we're struggling a little bit with it, if you want me to be totally honest. I still think we're at a stage where the influencers are the same people that they were many, many years ago. And until we start changing those influencers, those hirer and firers, then we will sit down again in 10 years' time, hopefully when I'm here, and be talking the same things. And you'll be saying to me, Troy, has it still got any better? And I'll be saying the same things to you, Perry. So unless we can change, or unless there's a change of what that boardroom environment looks like. And by the way, I'm not just saying black and ethnic minority. I'm saying more females on boards, different perspective, people with different skills and different contributions that they can have to the boardroom. Then I think we'll be having the same conversation all the way along.
Jonathan says the problem you have is this: non-racist people are sick to death of hearing about the race card, as it's not an issue for them because they're not racist, and racist people are not going to change, which is why you get the tweets and texts you do.
I don't believe that. Because Perry mentioned it earlier, education is such a powerful tool now. Some people want to be educated. Some people, through ignorance, will not want to change their mindset, will not want to change their opinion. But there are people out there, and we've experienced it already, who, when you educate and you give examples and you kind of express various opinions to them, they get it and they understand. So, you know, the education is the most powerful thing you can provide, but you're only going to want to be educated if you actually want to be.
So you could say that with, like, if you said, like, say, knife crime, and you could, the same tweet come say, well, you're not going to stop people carrying knives because people want to carry knives, we'll always do it. And you think, no, we have to have a deterrent, and then we have education to educate those people who have the mentality to carry knives. It's exactly the same thing.
What about the media, Troy? I mean, I don't want to put myself out of a job.
Well, can I get you out
that isn't mine anyway. Lots of people, lots of people would. But
you've had a good go at it.
Yeah, I do my best anyway. But
you've had a go at it.
Yeah.
I saw a few comments yesterday, so don't worry about that.
No, they keep coming in. Don't worry. Because take TalkSport as an example. What is it? I think the looking at the last sentence, 87% of the population is white. I'd say, you know, if you look at the on air and pretty much off air. Talent, if that's the word, in this building. It's you know, there are more women presenters. That's great, but black and ethnic minorities are underrepresented.
You're really setting me up here because people are going to they're knocking me anyway about what I'm talking about.
Do you want the overnight show, Troy? That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I was at an event on Monday, where this was the exact topic of, and I thought that a lot of people that were representing the major organisations, your BTs, your Skies, the Sun newspaper, and I don't want to get criticised, but I've thrown it out there, and IMG tried to appease the audience with what they were doing, but there were some stats above their heads that shows that we're still in a place where opportunity is not being afforded to everybody. So let me leave that there. Opportunity is not being afforded to everybody.
And is that because, listen, to get into the media, you've got quite often to be able to work for nothing, right? So socioeconomically, it's difficult.
Max, I volunteered for Kick It Out 7 years ago. I don't even want to tell you my age when 7 years ago, but I volunteered because I believed I could make a difference. I believed that my knowledge around the game would help the organisation. I volunteered for 3 months that turned into 8 months. And so I went down a route because I believed in the organisation. I believed in what I could contribute to that organisation. Now, I'm not saying that's going to work for everybody because, like you say, you know, everyone needs money. But I did it, and I'm still here, and I'm able to come on a show like this because of that. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, if you really want something, there is this element of you've got to go and grab it. You've got to go and do everything you can to make sure that you're in the eye line of people that are hiring and firing. Unfortunately, I know far too many people that do that, and they're still getting ignored. And that's right across the industry, if you want me to be honest.
The number 08717 223344. Max Rushton, Bob Mills, Perry Groves here till 1. Back in a minute.
Jim White on TalkSport with Wix. October trade essentials. At Wix, the DeWalt 18-volt lithium-ion brushless combi drill is now just £87.30 when you use your Trade Pro discount. Always cheaper with Wix Trade Pro. Price includes VAT.
Switzerland Day 1.
I just love the sound of a Swiss horn.
Switzerland Day 12.
If that Swiss horn carries on, I'm gonna...
Sometimes a taste is all you need. Like the rich and creamy Swiss stack from McDonald's, with 2 succulent beef patties layered with smoky bacon, all drizzled in Emmental cheese sauce. Here until October 23rd. Served after 10:30 a.m, subject to availability, participating restaurants only.
Dickies Workwear has a reputation for quality and toughness, offering protection and style in every situation at affordable prices. Whatever your trade, Dickies offers you all the workwear you need without compromising on your look. We have a range of protective clothes, safety shoes and high-vis fit for the job. Available now at a Dickies stockist near you. Or from dickiesworkwear.com. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922.
At DFS, autumn-winter collection sofas are up to half price and guaranteed to be delivered before Christmas. DFS.
This October, go grand with the grand deal at Vauxhall Network Q. Receive £1,000 deposit contribution with finance at 10.9% APR representative on a simply super approved used Vauxhall. The grand deal at your local Vauxhall Network Q retailer from October the 5th to the 15th. Personal contract purchase, finance subject to status, 18+, T's and C's apply. Financed by Vauxhall Finance. Available on selected models at participating retailers.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In October, we've got sheets of 8x4 foot 18mm sheathing ply for just £19.39 each ex VAT. Now that's a real deal. We've got even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse. For more information, see selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
72 teams, 3 incredible leagues, 1 fully comprehensive roundup. The EFL preview over on TalkSport 2 with Quest TV. Ahead of another action-packed weekend of EFL fixtures, listen to Sports Day tomorrow morning from 9 and get closer to all the action with a full-on preview of the biggest EFL games. The EFL preview over on TalkSport 2 with Quest TV. Get every goal from every EFL game this season. Saturday nights from 9 on Quest.
TalkSport Traffic and Travel with Checkertrade.com. For everything from appliance repairs to wood flooring, visit Checkertrade.com today. Checkertrade.com.
Very long delays for the M6 southbound through Warwickshire again this morning. It's all due to an accident involving several vehicles which has now closed the carriageway at junction 3 for Coventry and the A444. That's causing long delays on the approach. The M48-7 bridge has been closed eastbound now between junction 2 for Chepstow and junction 1 for Oss because of the strong winds. That's causing heavy delays. And queues now through Cambridgeshire on the A14 westbound due to an accident closing the inside lane as you approach junction 33 for the Milton interchange. I'm Louisa Gale.
At SYNAE, we like to make things easy. So we're offering 4 years 0% APR across the SYNAE range, including the award-winning Ateca and Arona. So make the easy move with SYNAE now. Enough said. If only we could make the legals easier. Here they come.
With Solutions Personal Contract Plan, 10% customer deposit required on Ateca and Alhambra. Excludes Cupra models, 18s and over. Ordered by 2nd of January 2019. Subject to status, T's and C's apply. Indemnities may be required. Visit sayat.co.uk. Sayat Financial Services.
TalkSport.
He's beating the keeper!
Anything else is relegation.
A great British invention.
TalkSport.
Morning, Max Rushton here on TalkSport with Wix in the trade. Always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro every day with no minimum spend. Register today via the Wix Trade Pro app. Visit your local Wix store to find out more. Troy Townsend from Kick It Out in the studio with us until 11. Richard says, Troy, talking about his important work for Kick It Out with Max on TalkSport, a fantastic listen, erudite and measured as ever. Bob, any...
Erudite, measured. Tell Troy he's full of garbage. Full full of it, Troy. Not just a bit of it. You're full
Full
of
of
gold. Sick of hearing that there should be more black managers. Listen, if you're good enough, then you'll be hired. Where are all the good black managers? Ridiculous, pulling race cards all the time. Right, first thing, and I've said this before about race. Don't use the phrase race card and sexist card if you don't know what it means, because you don't know what it means. I know what you're saying. What you mean is, don't try and make race an issue where it isn't. That isn't what the phrase pulling the race card means. I've said it before, so stop using that.
But Bob, I'd be happy. Do you know, whoever that is, do you know what? They want to come and spend a day with me. And they'll really see the impact of what I'm talking about.
I mean, this is the
talking
point we're trying to make.
words.
We're not saying here Sol Campbell should be manager of this club. What we're saying is there is something fundamentally wrong with the system,
the process,
whereby they don't get the chance.
Yeah.
If someone said, I'll tell you something, I had a chat with Sol. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's got the experience. No one's got a problem with that at all.
This is from Spencer. The BMAE community are massively overrepresented in the England squad. And are you serious? And most Premier League teams, does Troy want to balance this up or not? It's hypocrisy.
Well, the thing is, if they're overly represented, does that
massively.
Mean,
no, he said massively.
Does that mean that they're very talented and their ability has got them to where they are, and that's all that you're trying to do?
Max, I guarantee he was in a beer garden in the summer, throwing beer all over the place when goals were flying in for England, So, massively. It beggars belief.
Yeah,
to be totally honest.
You're always going to get messages like this. You get a lot of reasonable ones as well. It's interesting that lots of people want to tweet or text him, but don't want to call in to actually have the conversation.
Max,
yes.
I was going to say.
What would you like me to ask? What would you like me to ask, Troy?
About Rhian Brewster.
Yeah, actually, you work with young players, right, all the time. You talk to them about this, and he's obviously his experiences were very public, and must be very difficult for someone so young.
Rhian's experiences went beyond what you've just read. As a young man who's representing his club, representing his country, and in both arenas has been racially abused. I've spoken to Rhian after every kind of incident. One of the incidents, they were winning 3-0, about 7 minutes to go. And he was like, bothered, I've scored. Do you know what I mean? We're through. It didn't let it impact on me. The question I asked Rhian was, but what if you were losing? And he said to me that it would have been a different ball game. There would have been anger, there would have been frustration. And in a matter of fact, the last time he was on Russian soil, he exploded. He exploded with a lot of expletives, as if like, oh, not this again. Our young players are having to deal with stuff. You can't not let them. He's playing in the Youth Champions League. He's playing in a World Cup. He played in a World Cup and brought a World Cup home for his country. And that day, it wasn't Rhian that got racially abused, but he heard the abuse and reported it. Now, from what I understand there is that, quite rightly, it went to the manager, Steve Cooper, who was complaining to the UEFA officials, who then told him to be quiet or else he'll be booked. So those people that want to criticise and want to say that we're just I'm sorry, Bob, the race card out there, you've never had the experiences that some of these people have had, and I'm quite privileged with what I do because, I go up and down the country talking to young players about their experiences and also aiding to their knowledge as well, because no longer is it just about what you do on the football pitch. You have to be articulate, you have to be knowledgeable, you have to, as a young player, so you're not just being judged on your right foot, left foot or your head, and I know we've got a great pool of young players that are ready to flood the game. With lots of knowledge, with lots of understanding, and would also not accept the kind of abuse that we're talking about that people think that don't exist.
Do you know what, when you said there, what was more interesting, when Rhian was getting racially abused, he sort of not accepted, he thought, well, I can handle that. But then when somebody he knows gets racially abused, his sense of injustice and outrage is heightened. It's like when something happens to me, whatever happens, I'm out and about. I'll deal with it. If someone says anything to my family, it makes me even more angry. Do you know what I mean? So you're saying
it's like he'd been through a process, Perry, where he'd been abused, was angry, been abused again, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I have to accept it.
I have to now accept it, and then hearing it to someone else. He almost lived himself through his teammate.
And that sense of outrage is heightened.
This is from Craig. Says no mention at all of Sunday League where Asian teams spit and are racist towards teams who mostly have white players. It happens all the time.
Yeah, but
Craig says racism is happening both ways, but not allowed to be mentioned the other way, as it never gets highlighted.
Mention it. Listen, it's not a one-way traffic street here. It's if we get reports of racism, no matter what background you're from, what colour of skin you're from, where you live, we act on it. So I'll throw the question back: have you? If it happens all the time, have you ever reported anything? And if you've reported it, what was your outcome? If you didn't get the desired outcome, talk to us. Simple as that. Don't just throw it in on a tweet and then expect something to be
what would
done.
happen? Out of interest, what would you complain to the FA? What is the process?
You complain if you go through our system. We then log it with the FA. The FA then go to the county FA. It has to take an investigative process. I'm telling you now that process is way too long, particularly at the grassroots level. And then action will be taken. There's banning, there's fining, and whatever else. Obviously, not to the level that we get at the professional game. But what I'm saying is, if that is happening every week, as this gentleman is saying, don't tweet about it, report it. And we'd applaud anybody that now takes a stand against the kind of acts of discrimination that have been described there, if they happened.
Peter Paul says, I'm a 6-foot white man with a shaved head, not a racist bone in my body. At the moment, I'm the most hated in the country. Lol, he says.
Brilliant. Well done.
Well, because you think because the way that he looks, people look at him like being stereotypical. Is that what he's trying to say?
Why is lol at the end?
No idea. I have no idea.
Does that name might mean lots of love? You see.
The phone number 08717
You've educated me.
223344. Do you think the Rooney Rule, going back to that for a second, is it's good because it gives people from minorities the opportunity to see the interview process, but by the other token, it gives the people doing the interviewing that opportunity to see people they wouldn't necessarily bring in. I mean, because I saw a report somewhere where they sent in identical CVs and they changed their name. One was Dave Smith and one was, I don't know, Mustafa Hussein. And Dave Smith got the interview and Mustafa Hussein didn't. Exactly the same CV. I mean, is that giving the interviewers a pass that they shouldn't get? To say, they need. It doesn't matter what position of authority you're in, you need that education.
I'll go back to what I said earlier on. Listen, we've got the mandatory code, the equivalent to the Rooney Rule. How it's being implemented and the figures behind that are not public. I don't know. I would still question that process at the moment as well. I go into clubs, I don't see better representation in the coaching circles. I don't see better representation right across the board. So actually, I would question whether it's working or not myself. But Perry, you would know this better than me. People that want to hire someone, if you sack a manager on the Monday, no doubt you've already had conversations with people anyway.
At least I'd say 2 or 3
Right.
to line them up.
You'd
have said, have a word, have a word with Sam Allardyce, see if
just
to
throw Mourinho's name
Yeah.
in. He's under pressure at the moment, yes?
Yeah.
Are you telling me United?
There'll be 3.
Right.
There'll be 3 on the list that they've got.
So actually, the mandatory code, the Rooney Rule, or whatever it may be, goes out the window.
You are listening to TalkSport. The phone number 08717 223344.
Jim White on TalkSport with Wix. In the trade, it's always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro with no minimum spend. Register via the Wix Trade Pro app or visit your local Wix store to find out more.
The world's biggest recorded dog stood at 3 feet 8 inches tall. Imagine him bounding up to you. For a pooch, that's big. But it's not Euro Millions big. This Friday, it's a whopping £24 million jackpot. Euro Millions, amazing starts here.
Estimated jackpot. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 or over.
Oh, look! Tom and Mary Wainthorpe are proud to announce the engagement of their daughter, Carrie, to Gareth Shadwell.
Oh.
5-door hatchback for sale. 1 previous owner. Full service.
Like getting your money's worth? Enjoy our delicious 99p cheeseburger, part of the McDonald's Saver menu. From 10:30am, price of participation may vary.
You want a quality van at an everyday price? Well, this could be just the deal you're looking for.
What's that coming over the hill, Van Monster?
Right now at Van Monster, we've got incredible offers like these 2015 Ford Transit Customs from only £150 a month, with features like a 5-day money-back guarantee as standard. See all the vans and all the deals right now at vanmonster.com. Conditions apply. Deposit payable. Offers to business users only.
What a save!
Here at Adrian Flux, the majority of our customers pay less than £500 for their van insurance. So, why not try us today and get your hands on a great deal? Call 08000 856 356 to see how much you could save.
Oh,
fantastic save from Adrian Flux.
Call 08000 856 356. Visit adrianflux.co.uk or search Flux Fan. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
So you're looking over your finances and wondering where that next trade job's coming from. You've got some great customers, but they don't need you every day. Or maybe you're doing okay, but you could be doing better. You could be choosing your customers instead of waiting for them to come to you. Sound familiar? Wherever you're at, Rated People can help with trade work when you need it, covering over 30 different trades. Take control of your work with ratedpeople.com, because life's better when you're busy.
International friendlies just got serious. The Nations League is here tonight from 6. Hear full match commentary of Croatia versus England direct from Rijeka.
Harry Kane has sent England!
Croatia versus England tonight from 6. Live on Talk Sport with the Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass. Watch Croatia versus England in the UEFA Nations League for a one-off payment of just $7.99. Search Now TV. 18 plus terms apply. See nowtv.com.
On digital radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. Talk Sport.
You are listening to the world's biggest sports radio station. It is Talk Sport. We'll go to your calls after the news. Troy's going to hang around for another 15 minutes. That's all right with you, Troy?
Of course it is, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Your fee is exactly the same. Absolutely nothing. Bob Mills, Perry Groves, we're here until 1. Then it's Hawksby and Jacobs. 3 till 4 and Hawksby and Jacobs. Best hour of Talk Sport every week with Martin Kellner and Clips of the Week. Right now it's 11 o'clock. We'll get the sport from Ben, the news from Jenny.
Thanks. Coming up, furious Gaza misses out on Hall of Fame.
And England ready for empty Rijeka.
Talk Sport.
The Scottish FA has come under fire for performing a U-turn on Paul Gascoigne's Hall of Fame nomination. They say there are a number of factors for the decision, but one is his ongoing health issues. Vinnie Jones says alcoholism is a disease and Gaza shouldn't be penalised for it.
It's not going out partying every night. It's uncontrollable. And the boy has worked his backside off for the last 2 years to remedy this. And now this happens?
Britain's Beer Alliance says 12,000 jobs are at risk if the Chancellor raises beer duty in the budget. Philip Hammond's expected to increase it by 3.6%. David Cunningham from the Alliance says the industry is already on its knees.
We're currently facing daily closures of 3 pubs every single day closing their doors for good, and pressure is going to be heaped on even more if he would go ahead with his increase in beer duty planned for October the 29th.
Patisserie Valerie's parent company says its finance chief has been arrested on fraud allegations. Chris Marsh was suspended by the firm this week. This comes as Patisserie Valerie warned it could collapse within hours unless urgent funds are found. And hitting a pothole is causing twice as many breakdowns as 12 years ago. The RAC says in the last year they were called out to 14,000 incidents linked to holes in the road.
Talk Sport weather
with QuickFit. This October, buy 4 Michelin Cross Climate tyres and you'll drive away happy with a free dash cam. Terms and conditions apply. Ask in centre for details.
Mainly dry, bright, warm and windy for the southeast, but heavy rain and gales in the west and the north.
Talk Sport Sports Update with ArnoldClark.com. Line up your best used car deal.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good morning. England go again in the Nations League this evening inside an empty stadium for the first time. As part of an ongoing sanction, Croatia are being forced to play behind closed doors. Gareth Southgate's side may have lost their opening Nations League fixture, but Stuart Pearce told Talk Sport the pressure is all on the hosts.
They've done fantastic things in the summer getting to the final, Croatia, but they're going to be they're in a situation where they're going to need a result, you know, for their own sort of peace of mind, and it might be a good time to go there.
Croatia and England versus the Tumbleweed is live here on Talk Sport. Crystal Palace are unlikely to see Christian Benteke for the rest of 2018. The striker had knee surgery on Wednesday, which will leave him sidelined for a number of months. Roy Hodgson says he won't be rushing the Belgian back. Joe Root has told Talk Sport Shane Warne's comments about his Test captaincy will only serve to motivate him. The Aussie spin legend wants Jos Buttler to become skipper, with a view to helping Root realise his full potential with the bat.
He's entitled to his views. He's obviously a big fan of Jos, and so am I. I can't speak for anyone else but myself, and I'm pretty happy with the way things have gone, and my position as captain. And hopefully I can continue that good run of form that we had at the back end of the summer.
There's ball-by-ball commentary on the second ODI, by the way, weather permitting, over on TalkSport 2 tomorrow. And Kyle Edmund is out of the Shanghai Masters. The British number one was beaten by fourth seed Alexander Zverev 6-4, 6-4. Remember, the England game live here on TalkSport this evening, or with Austria Northern Ireland over on TalkSport 2.
Oh, look! Tom and Mary Wainthorpe are proud to announce the engagement of their daughter Carrie to Gareth Shadwell.
Oh.
5-door hatchback for sale. One previous owner. Full service.
Like getting your money's worth? Enjoy our delicious 99p cheeseburger, part of the McDonald's Saver menu. From 10:30am, price of participation may vary.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM.
Max Rushton in for Jim White
on Talk Sport.
Good morning, everybody. You are listening to Max Rushton on TalkSport with Wix. In the trades, it's always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro every day with no minimum spend. Register today via the Wix Trade Pro app. Visit your local Wix store to find out more. Perry's quiz is coming up in about 40 minutes' time. Is it a good one, Perry?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I should hope so.
Bob Mills yesterday.
Bob Mills ruined the radio quiz yesterday.
Yeah.
I
set it back 50 years, apparently. That's what somebody said. And can I just say, and our guest must have nothing to do with this because he's not allowed to comment on it. But if I was Benteke, I'd be sitting at home saying, well, hang on a minute, mate. I haven't even got on the table yet to have the surgery. What do you mean you ain't gonna rush me back?
The thing is he
Roy? I might be all right, mate.
You can call this. Is he one of the few players where the fans actually think, that's a result? It could be 8 weeks.
Troy Townsend, father of Andros Townsend, in the studio, being part. Are you on as I asked you before the show, you on a bonus for? Does Andros get £1 every time he cuts inside?
No, this is terrible. Listen,
I'm ignoring this part, this section.
Oh, you're so stereotypical.
Andros shouldn't have moved. He should have stayed where he was. While he was playing at the O's.
At the O's, always.
Hey, don't knock it. It works for him. It works for Yarmolenko. It works for Arjen Robben. I'd do it if I could. Troy Townsend from Kick It Out is in the studio. We've been talking about racism in this country. Craig's a Chelsea fan. How are you, Craig?
Hello, Craig.
Hello, lads.
Great coming on, mate.
What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm shaking my head in disbelief listening to some of the comments from people denying there is a problem. But say there's a problem regards the media pushing an agenda, I have a question. And that is, I see pundits. I see the likes of Marcel Desailly, I see Thierry Henry, I sometimes see Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, and they're all there because they're passionate and they're knowledgeable and they're articulate. The media has no problem putting them in the job because they're the right people for the job. And I think Troy is absolutely right in that it's got to be a problem at board level because you've got the likes of Sol Campbell. He's knowledgeable, he's doing everything he can do. But why isn't he getting there when a Frank Lampard or a Steven Gerrard or even a Joey Barton at a lower level? Yeah, no problem. But where is he? There has to be a problem. To say there isn't, I mean, surely these guys are crazy.
Is that for me, Craig?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You've and I don't want to deny anyone an opportunity either, but Frank Lampard, he's doing great at Derby at the moment, but has gone straight into a job. Yes, he's done a little bit of work with the under-18s and whatever at Chelsea. Steven Gerrard did his groundwork, at Liverpool with the under-18s. Joey Barton, I think, was suspended when he got a job. I could like to flip that around and then question whether that would happen to our black and ethnic minority coaches, whether they would be under suspension at the time and manage to go and get a job in the professional game of football. So you're right. I take this back to the boardrooms. I take this back to friendships. I take it back to people getting opportunity because of name, and that. I can't see where that's going to stop, if you want me to be totally honest. I don't see it stopping because of what we see upstairs.
Sorry, hang on a second, please. Sorry. Let's just, again, because of the tweets, let me just clarify what we're saying. Right. I'm going to say it. I've met Sol Campbell, okay? I don't think he'd be a particularly good coach.
It's not just about Sol, though,
right,
is it?
Exactly. But this is what people are saying. I don't think that Sol Campbell would be a particularly good coach. Some of his ideas on the game, I think, are a little bit off key. However, we're not saying Sol Campbell should be given a job. we're not saying any black player should get a job because he's a black player. What we're saying is there is a blockage in the tunnel.
Yeah.
There's a bottleneck, and for some reason the black players aren't getting the right kind of access to the interview process. It's as simple as that.
See, the thing is, that's where you can take case on individual merits, where I think Sol, off the top of my head, I think he got an interview for the Oxford job.
He did, yeah.
Right.
He did, yeah.
So now, if he goes for an interview for the Oxford job, and they listen to his philosophy and what he's going to plan out for the club and the way he sees the club, and then the owners go, no, that's not matching. We're not. That's fine. And on the other side of it, then Sol can't come back out and say, well, I didn't get that job because I'm black.
Yeah.
So you can't have it that way. So it has
to
be getting the interviews is that's what you're fighting for, is to get the interviews in the
get
first
in front
place.
of people.
Now, if they don't like what you say and they don't, and Sol's giving mixed messages, and what he thinks he could do for the club, then they're in their rights to choose the right candidate for that job.
You're right, but like I said, Per, it's funny because we can mention the black coaches and we haven't even used more than one hand at the moment. Do you know what I mean? So we talk Sol Campbell, we talk Sol Campbell, we talk Sol Campbell, we talk Sol Campbell. There are many other great coaches out there being denied the same opportunities, but people don't even know who they are.
Yeah. Let's talk to Neil, who's a Borough fan. Neil, morning. How you doing?
Hi, Neil.
Hi, Bob, Perry, Max, Troy.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
I made you sound like a boy band then.
Do you know what?
I'm the lead singer, I'm telling you that.
If this show doesn't go well, I mean, I'm not sure how well we'll do, but we'll give it a go, Neil.
I'm not being funny. The choreography would be like a bunch of Jeremy Bones.
I'm going to say this, right, Neil. Bob and Perry would be like the two guys on the outside of E17 who just sort of move side to side.
I'd be Gary Barlow in the dark years, sitting in his room.
It's that. I don't even think it's that. You say I have to say Max and Troy in a voice of Max and Troy.
There you go. Well, I'd love that. That sounds great.
X Factor next year. What are your thoughts, Neil?
So there is a genuine difference in racism in football between club level and there is at international level. It's when you go to watch your local club. So I'll go to watch the Borough. If somebody makes a mistake, if a Sambelonga makes a mistake, we shout out, "Oh my God, you've done this, you've done that." Whatever you do at international level, when Sterling makes a mistake, he plays for another club. Nobody's compassionate about him, and it almost becomes funny, Troy. People say things that are, hurtful, they're unkind, they're racist, but people join in because it's Raheem Sterling or it's so and so and so and so. So your passion that you have for your own club that you would never say on your own front room, when you go away, those things are almost accepted at international level. And not only are they almost accepted, I hear it every single time. I go away with England, and kind of because it's somebody who is, and Sterling is the perfect one, unfortunately. Because, he is. But it becomes a point where people, from other clubs, other supporters, they accept it because it's him.
Yeah, to be fair, Neil, you're spot on. We watch England passionately, but we watch England knowing that there's 7, 6, 7, some would say 3 clubs represented, through the squads. And if you don't like someone because of who he plays for, the minute he does wrong, it's an easy way to go, there you go, I can vent my anger and frustrations at them. In an international environment, it's again also, and not just England, but taking it outside of England, it seems like that mobbish culture really comes into play. So, we're representing our country. We wear the badge on our shirts as well. We have the right to then go and call those English lads or whoever they may be any word we can. And the first reference for most is the colour of, I don't care what anyone tells me, the first reference for most is the colour of someone's skin. And if he does something wrong, you identify the skin rather than identify the talent. And that's the stage we're at, and that's the stage that we're trying to eradicate. And listen, we all get frustrated. I understand that. I get frustrated, but that doesn't mean that I target someone, whether they're black, white, green, blue, or from Mars, because of the colour of their skin or any kind of characteristic. And that's the problem that we have that still exists, that many will not even appreciate or understand.
Thank you, Neil. Simon's a QPR fan. Simon, morning.
Simon.
Good morning, lads. How are we? All right?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
Great show.
Very kind of you to say so. What are your thoughts?
I'd like to turn around and say, look, I'm a QPR fan. Just as a point of interest, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, obviously the Chelsea connection. I'd like to turn around and say, listen, I would have loved him to have won something at QPR. It doesn't matter. His colours, irrespective of anything. Les Ferdinand, fantastic. Fantastic forward. You know what I mean? Andros Townsend, it's great for us. You know what I mean? Love him. It's one of them things. It shouldn't be an issue in this day and age. It's all about what someone can bring to the club. Everyone wants success, you know, and I love him to have been a fantastic manager, you know.
Simon,
put that kite away, Simon.
We take your point. The line is terrible. Thank you for your call.
I would think if you're wing walking on a Sopwith Camel, the last thing you want to be doing is phoning a radio.
Do you know what's interesting? So Saib says about Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Yeah.
I was with Jimmy last night and just doing a Q&A in the theatre, and someone said to him about the black the question about are you not getting a job because you think you're because of black or ethnic minority, and you know what he said? He went, no, I wasn't very good in my last two. No, he was a brutal honesty. He was saying, actually, no, I've got to be better. And he advocates, I'm sure you do as well, more ethnic minorities and black coaches actually getting their qualifications. He said there's quite a few ex-players who say, I can't get a job. And his argument is, go and get your qualifications first. And then you've got more of an
I understand that, Perry, and he's right to a sense, and that's what the bursary scheme is about.
Exactly,
so that bursary scheme, which the gentleman obviously earlier on spoke about, that is get yourself upskilled, get yourself into the echelons of the game with the knowledge and the background that you have. I would argue that still some managers are doing that on the spot. Some managers are doing it when they're in a job.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
You're allowed time on if you're working towards your badges.
Exactly.
You don't get the title of manager. You get
head coach or something like that. Yeah.
Listen,
there's still. Sorry.
No. I was going to say we've run out of time, but Troy, it's brilliant to have you on. I really appreciate it. It was a really interesting discussion. Band practice tonight for the four of us is at 8.
I'll be Bez.
You can be Bez.
I'll be Bez.
You just shake your maracas,
I'll be slightly late because this has affected me this week.
Troy, thanks so much.
Absolute
and I hope that was a worthwhile thing to do.
So. You tell me.
We'll find out. We'll find out in the break. Troy Townsend from Kick It Out. After the break, we'll work out how England should line up. I'm not sure Perry's that excited about Eric Dyer starting for England. Back in a tizzy start.
Jim White on TalkSport with Wix. October trade essentials. At Wix, Type 21 radiator 600mm by 1200mm is now just £39.60 when you use your Trade Pro discount. Always cheaper with Wix Trade Pro. Price includes VAT.